spring produce fresh water. Pretty heavy words to a sister who's struggling with her mouth. We're going to break this down a little bit, and I want to say that I think that what comes out of our mouth is a direct result of what we think. And what we think is a direct result of what we put in our minds. Would anybody disagree? What we see, what we hear, conversations that we have. And we cannot tame it on our own. As it said, it's a restless evil full of deadly poison. And out of the same mouth that I stand here tonight and I worship the Lord, I am getting frustrated with the driver in front of me and maybe saying some words I shouldn't say. Or I'm talking about that person who really ticked me off yesterday at work. Or I'm being just, and this is my area, I'm just a smart mouth. It just comes out of my mouth before I can think, and it's sarcastic, and it's not nice, and I don't like it. Did everybody see that movie, You've Got Mail? Remember it was Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks? And remember how she always wanted to be the one to have the comeback, and she could never say the thing that she wanted to say. She always wished she could come back and say something and just really get that dig in. And he could do that. But remember his words of warning? He says, you're always going to regret the thing that you said, that you wish you always wanted to say. You're always going to regret that. That would be me, always regretting. I'll tell you what, if we stop to think about how our words connect and hit and land on the person that we said them to, if we just stopped for a minute and thought about that, we might say them differently. I had this Iranian friend who told me, Joni, you need to taste your words before they come out of your mouth. In other words, do they taste sweet and lovely, or do they taste like acid or fire? Are they hot? And I thought, that's really a good thing to think about, because sometimes it just flows out, but it's flowing out as a result of what's sitting in here. So we are going to take kind of a look at 4 areas of speech, and I'm going to run through some verses in Proverbs mostly. So they're listed in your guide. You don't have to turn there. But we're going to talk about 4 different areas of speech and kind of what does the word say? Because, I could stand here and have lots of opinions, but really it doesn't matter what I think. Let's take a look and see what God has to say about it. So let's take a look at the conniving tongue. And conniving is wrong motives, a desire to twist the truth. So Proverbs 25:18, like a club or sword or sharp arrow is the man who gives false testimony against his neighbor. A conniving tongue can also involve gossip, slander. I'll tell you, this is an issue that God has been dealing with me, and it's not about gossip with each other necessarily, but about gossip with other people, especially celebrities. I used to be, and I used to be proud of this, and I can't believe I'm telling you this, but I used to be a walking People magazine. If you, really, honestly, I could tell you who was married to whose kids were doing what, and I acted like I knew them. I acted like, well, yeah, about Brad and Jennifer. Well, did you hear? And I knew, I got a People magazine. I'd grab it. If I was going on a trip, that was the first thing I got on the plane because I could read it. And my sister even said, Joni, I don't believe you. And Entertainment Tonight and, all those shows, I was in the midst of it. And I really think it was my desire to live out somebody else's life and then to act like I really had it all together because I knew what was going on with Brad and Jennifer. But I'll tell you what, God's saying to me, very, very clearly said to me, you need to know what's going on with you and my word, not Brad and Jennifer. And so I've had to give up those gossip magazines, and it's hard. I will tell you. So then, here's how, sneaky we think we are, and this is me just confessing. I'm laying it all out on the line here tonight, ladies. Then I would go, well, it's not really reading a People magazine if I'm looking at the news online and I go down to the entertainment section and just peruse. I wouldn't read the whole article, but the headline, and I'd be like, okay, and then I'd get away from that. But then there might be something about somebody, that I really liked, and let me see, or a tragedy, and I could pray for that person. Whatever. No. This is how lame I was. So God was all over me. He said, Joni, you have to stop. I want you to know what's in my word and know who I am and get to know me the way you know Brad and Jennifer or whoever. Now, see, I can't even think of anybody else right now. But I want you to know your brothers and sisters that came before you in this word. So that's really, really where he has been struggling. And then at work, if you hear something and you're gossip really gets us in all kinds of ways. And we can think, and I tell you, I've done it. I don't gossip. I don't talk about other people, except my boss and maybe the people I work with. But it's just talking about my day. I'm not gossiping. Ladies, if anything negative comes out of your mouth about somebody else and it sheds an unlovely light on them, that's gossip. It is. And let's just call it what it is. And I don't have any room to talk. This mouth is an evil thing. So, I heard this, Proverbs 20:19, a gossip betrays a confidence, so avoid a man who talks too much. So if y'all don't talk to me the rest of the evening, I'll understand. I really will. But no, it's hard. It's as hard to refuse to listen to gossip as it is to turn down a delicious morsel or dessert. And taking just one bite creates the taste for more. And don't we get caught up, ladies, in wanting the rest of the story? Kind of a Paul Harvey thing. But you can resist rumors the same way a determined dieter resists candy or chocolate. You never open the box. You just don't go there. If you don't nibble on the first bite of gossip, you can't take a bite, the third and the fourth and the fifth bite. So that's what God is working on me and what I'm going to practice. Proverbs 26:20-28. Without wood, a fire goes out. Without gossip, a quarrel dies down. As charcoal to embers and as wood to fire, so is a quarrelsome man for kindling strife. The words of a gossip are like choice morsels. They go down to man's inmost parts. Like a coating of glaze over earthenware are fervent lips with an evil heart. A malicious man disguises himself with his lips, but in his heart he harbors deceit. Though his speech is charming, do not believe him, for 7 abominations fill his heart. His malice may be concealed by deception, but his wickedness will be exposed in the assembly. If a man digs a pit, he will fall into it. If he rolls a stone, it will roll back on him. A lying tongue hates those who hurts, and a flattering mouth works ruin. Ladies, what I think that verse means, if man digs a pit, he will fall into it. Everything that you say, I say, that's negative that comes out of my mouth will come back on me tenfold. Ephesians 4:29 is one of the verses that I just came on last night as I was studying, and I wanted to share that with you. Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen. And that's the controlled tongue. That's the tongue that thinks before it speaks. He who guards his lips guards his life, but he who speaks rashly will come to ruin. Proverbs 13:3. So we have to know when silence is best. We have to know when it's time to speak and when it's time to be quiet. One of the best gifts I can give to someone is to listen. I don't have anything to say. Really, it's important, other than what's in here. But to listen and to be quiet, and especially to be listening to be quiet in front of the Lord and to hear from Him.